In the Kaldri Kingdom, the Millennial Kingdom, where there are thousands of years of snow, the Nematis entered the arena first. Mistaken for an outsider, he was thrown into this place, haunted by the pain that Ryu Hanbin inflicted on him in the forest before. Artifacts, powerful items that power dungeons, hold great significance for those who complete the dungeon. But without knowing the level limit and how to activate them, they are merely decorations. Hunters visit the appraisal shop to determine the strength and value of these artifacts. Bannister brought an artifact to the appraiser, an item with levels 30 and 10 uses per day, allowing for an infinite number of uses. Its skill was to store and retrieve the user's clothes when needed, but after countless uses, its price was 3 times higher than similar level items. The ghost from before, now a normal human, worked as an appraiser, using knowledge from the Great Earth headquarters to save Ryu Hanbin from Bannister. She sold precious books and believed the item made by Bannister would be worth 10 times more than ordinary antiques. Bannister feared she would expose the devil's protection secret, but the girl brushed it off, deciding not to tell the church. Instead, she advised Effer and Bannister to keep the artifact, as it allowed them to change clothes instantly, which was convenient for their transformations. Effer and Bannister were astonished at her knowledge of their true selves. The specter in Ryu Hanbin's mind had seen his memories, revealing his troubled past of 22 years living in hell. Returning to battle, Ryu Hanbin showcased incredible skill, killing countless monsters with a broken sword, using parts of high-level monsters to fight. Even though the sight scared everyone, he killed the creatures effortlessly. He obtained experience points, and his instinctual killing prowess unnerved outsiders. Outsiders had reasons to fear. The Noble and Hidden Sacrifice special mission led to the Hidden Quest and Reward system. Killing Rathnians, the outsiders felt addicted, as a substance released in their brain brought happiness and comfort. Effer confirmed that Ryu Hanbin had never killed Rathnians, only other outsiders. However, his luck may not last, as the Predator sought him for 22 years, putting him in a kill-or-be-killed situation. In a flashback, Leslie is seen crouched in a corner, contemplating the consequences of killing Rathnians. The effects were severe, but she refused to die. Restraint was her means of escape, allowing her to suppress her desires and do the dirty work for the false Great Earth to survive. Hanbin asked Leslie to heal Jang and stop his bleeding. After healing him, she tried to run away, scared by Hanbin but encounters a huge eggplanter monster. Meanwhile, Bannister ran into a heresy investigator who came to find the warrior, Valterra. Jang protects Leslie from the monster. Hanbin then defeats it in one strike. He suggests that the two of them head back to the Noble, claiming that they were threatened by him. Jang refuses and shares his plan to clear the image of the otherworldly. Hanbin agrees with his vision, and surprisingly, Leslie thought it may work as well. Meanwhile, at the Noble's office, the heresy investigator along with Bannister and Effer barges in. The Noble is shocked and terrified by the investigator. He tries to run away from them. Effer and Bannister chase after him. They now reach the same arena where the Noble used to hold his fights. Meanwhile, the investigator links each event after Lich's appearance and the dragon nest with Hanbin. He realizes there is some connection of his with the Otherworlders. The Noble calls out the King of Monsters, however, the Inquisitor, the chosen one of the goddesses, defeated it in one blow. A guard then points out that the runaway inmate is in the boss room. Hanbin and Jang find the prisoners, and they agree to cooperate with them. Jang explains to Hanbin that his intentions behind this are selfish, and that he only wants to reunite with his otherworldly friends. Hanbin claims he supports him, and that everyone will gain something from this. Just then, we see Zenobia has weakened the seal of Leslie, and her killing desires are returning. She kills a prisoner. Hanbin finds Leslie passed out and a guard murdered. He realizes a guard had escaped and there will be backup soon. Hanbin instructs Jang to gather the prisoners and escape. While Hanbin was chasing down the guard, he encounters the investigator. Meanwhile, as Jang and the prisoners tried to escape, they fell into a trap. The guards killed a few of them in an ambush, and Jang was severely injured. Leslie fed the Omphalos stone to Jang, and he is seen transforming. Meanwhile, the investigator and Hanbin prepare to fight. Ryu Hanbin fights the investigator, impressing him with his strength. The battle is intense and ferocious. Hanbin successfully lands a blow on the investigator's head. After his mask falls off, Hanbin sees that his level is greater than 120 with an alpha sign. He is shocked. The investigator uses his full strength and blows Hanbin away with a critical strike. But as the battle intensifies, Ryu Hanbin's anger transforms his fighting style into something animalistic. He overpowers the investigator and breaks his magic barrier with brute strength. However, the investigator is not an easy opponent. Hanbin's true identity as an outsider is still doubted. Zhang Lunchen receives Ormflaus's blessing stone from Leslie, becoming extremely powerful and clearing out guards and monsters. He too becomes a hero. Aoife and Bannister arrive at where Zhang and Leslie are. Next, we see that Bannister and Aoife thought that Zhang has been taken over by the power of the stone, and he has lost consciousness. A prisoner there urged them to collect the artifact and leave the dungeon. Just then, Zhang spoke Hanbin's name. Bannister realized he is still conscious. Using his magic, he tried removing the curse seal of Leslie. However, the prisoner foolishly tried to grab the sword, and in an attempt to stop him, Aoife and the prisoner are teleported outside the dungeon. From there, they see a huge blast at the place where the Hunters Guild was. Meanwhile, Zhang, carrying Bannister and Leslie, come out of the dungeon to escape. He flies away and Aoife chases after him in her wyvern form. A tough battle takes place in midair. Aoife attacks Zhang with her fire. However, he tried using Bannister as his shield. Because of this, Aoife had to withdraw her attack. She grabs him midair and tries to attack, but just then, he released a terrifying aura attack. Bannister is seen entering the memories of Zhang. He sees his mother there, who prevents him from wakening Zhang. Bannister uses a large-scale ice attack and decides to end it. Meanwhile, Hanbin gives the investigator a tough time in his animalistic form. He copies the fighting style of the investigator and lands successful blows. The investigator acknowledges that Hanbin is a highly experienced fighter. Just then, Hanbin uses an aura vertical slash. Meanwhile, Bannister is up against the demonic form of Zhang. Zhang counters Bannister's attacks and is able to dodge them. It is shown that Zhang is fighting the demonic entity within his memories. During the fight, Aoife goes up to Leslie, asking how can she take so many lives and be a ruthless killer. Suddenly, Zhang appears and throws Aoife away. It appears he was about to absorb Leslie's life force to fuel himself. But just then, something happened. Zhang came out from the demonic possession and grabs Leslie to safety. The demonic form was still alive without a host. Zhang signals Bannister to go all out with his attack. Bannister fires an incredible fire ray and obliterates it. The demonic manifestation has been defeated. Leslie claims she now has no reason to stay. She advises that they give her to the investigator as a member of the Great Earth. However, Zhang claims she should live on, and it is not too late. Suddenly, there is a burst of aura. It is the ferocious battle between Hanbin and the investigator. No matter what attack the investigator used, Hanbin canceled it with his aura and completely overpowered him. Hanbin gathers huge amounts of aura and leaps forward with his attack. The investigator regrets not bringing an artifact with him. The full force attack was coming toward the investigator. However, he decided not to move. As he expected, Hanbin's sword was unable to withstand the huge amount of aura and it broke. Hanbin's body was severely damaged from within due to the huge explosion of aura, and it was all over. Hanbin's last request was to spare his friends. Just then, Zhang came rushing toward him. He revealed to the investigator that he is an otherworldly person and will take all the blame. However, just then, a spear stabbed him from behind. The prisoners attacked him for being otherworldly, and Zhang died. Aoife and Bannister came to protect Hanbin, and the investigator leaves. Hanbin is in tears and rage. Leslie is seen as saddened as well. A week later, things started to become normal. The noble told everyone that the prison was not involved in any illegal activities, and that the otherworld people had killed dozens of their guards. Aoife is seen crying on the grave of Brad. She then calms down and swears to take revenge on the people who caused this. Meanwhile, Hanbin is seen in a state of confusion as he recovers. He is unable to determine who he should blame for Zhang's death. Leslie approaches him and claims she is the one to blame. Leslie was about to reveal the real people behind the Great Earth, but just then, Hanbin slams his hand on his head. Aoife and Bannister arrive as well. Next, we see that the four of them are having a pleasant lunch. Leslie argues about the next step forward. Hanbin mentions that they should carry the will of Zhang ahead. Leslie is shocked when Bannister revealed that they know Zenobia, the Archmage, and Garhan were the actual culprits. Next, we see Hanbin and the crew plan a journey ahead to the kingdom of Elendia. Leslie decides not to join them due to her seal. Meanwhile, the noble is killed by the Dark Brotherhood, and Laude is arrested to be held captive. Next, we see that the investigator, Leonhardt, went to report to the Dark Brotherhood's head. Just then, she appeared to be possessed by the goddess. She banned Leonhardt to conduct private investigations as he fought Hanbin unnecessarily. Zenobia is then shown to have actually possessed the head and was only acting like the goddess. Garhan and Zenobia now plan to absorb the life force of the goddess. Meanwhile, Leonhardt is seen traveling in a carriage. He then reveals that he knew that the possession was not by the goddess, as he had lied to her and got away. A more shocking revelation is that Zhang was actually alive. He was saved by Leonhardt and kept alive for a reason. They now plan something interesting. Meanwhile, a few people are seen beating an elf. Just then, a godlike woman appears calling out Ryu Hanbin. Next, we see Hanbin and the team reaching the kingdom. They go to the Hunters Guild to get registered, however the process will take at least 6 months. As they walk discussing what should be the next step, they see a festival nearby. It was a sword-pulling competition, and many strong hunters tried but failed. It is said that the king has stuck the sword in the ground by magic, and to prove his worth, he releases the magic when he is about to pull it. Just then, we see Hanbin trying to pull out the sword, however, he accidentally breaks it. The mysterious woman was led to the kingdom by an elf. She then makes her way to the Hunters Guild to find Hanbin. Meanwhile, everyone draws their attention to Hanbin. They misunderstand Hanbin's intentions and attack him with a golem. Hanbin uses aura and stops the attack. Just when Aoife and Bannister joined the fight, the woman appeared along with the kid. She asked Hanbin to surrender to them. The system guide crashed when Hanbin looked at the mysterious woman. It is then revealed that the kid was a prince. Hanbin and the others then receive royal treatment as they save the life of the prince. They are in the garden of the palace. The king explained that the sword was not an actual relic. Just then he leaves for a sudden emergency. Hanbin also left as he urgently needed to go to the toilet. He reached a tree far away where he relieved himself. Beside him, however, was an old elf. Hanbin was terrified at first. As they talked, the old man claimed if Hanbin gives something to the ground, it will return the favor. Just then, Hanbin's sword was sucked in and was replaced by a brand new wooden sword.
Hey viewers, subscribe for next part.